the king for this rap, ish. Stunning hard, I never had ish. Remember me with them napper braids when I was down on my last ish. Bet them against what man did. Took advantage, I asked them for a shot at this. Start laughing and took a year to and not past them. Y'all niggas all look like haters. You ain't here, put your dog on paper. Run around just tricking on me. Put your chain on, I'ma take it. Now everybody kept me face. Now everybody want these face. Southside NY, Jamaica. Nigga on the bike, throw it up, scrape it. Little honey niggas behind me. Northside, that'll feel it when you find me. Ride around with a 30 on my lap and a bigger fit in my little like a Johnny. Watching out for the toilet robbery. Bang, motherfucker, put the money in a respect. Hit him in the head with the stick, AJ. More money, more money, more money, more problems. Why you think I really wanna blow more jobs? More money, only bring more robbers. Wanna see me in the box, I want post monster. Show me some evidence. Never was better than know what you relevant. I'm too competitive. Walk in the club, get my level one excellent. I cut the brake like it's cars and I shuffle it. You told them we selling it. A mouse in the building, I act like an elephant. Who the f is like the devil in? Come in my city, they treat me like president. Ain't got no pity for niggas to settle it. I ain't that high, metal with selling them niggas from James Smith. She can try to kill me, but down miss. My downfall with down witch. Hell on, but down switch. Word up, my nigga. I see these haters looking at me like I own something. You looking bad, I probably throw you something. I see you flexing with that money and I know you front. I go cases never told them nothing. I got all this change and chains on me. Till I change, man, it changed on me. You see me coming rain cold and looking like I got a check. Flew into your city, me, my sickies on the jet. Ballin' every time I take a shot, I hit the net. And that day, sickin' want the money for respect. I ain't tripping, I got money, clothes, cars, hoes. Shopping to the mall, clothes, Lord knows. I can fit a up in these cars, go. I don't fuck with niggas cause they all told. Worry about it, never money like they all owe. I'm just with my niggas spinning hella blocks. Bad bitch all on my bench, I'm like 12 o'clock. Room, I might do 100 blocks. In the pack, 100 niggas deep and we like, I see these haters looking at me like I own something. You looking bad, I probably throw you something. I see you flexing with that money and I know you front. I go cases never told them nothing.
GRIDLIFE season finale has been held at a number of racetracks over the years. At Road America, the National Park of Speed, at Heartland Motorsports Park, and now here in California. And though we used to end in Kansas, no yellow brick roads here, Greg. It has been quite a journey here, all the way out to California. We're not in Kansas anymore. We're here at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, for GRIDLIFE Laguna, the last round of the season in the GRIDLIFE Festival Tour. It has been a phenomenal weekend so far. Yesterday, beautiful weather, some spectacular racing. Today, a little bit of chill and fog in the air kind of kept us on a bit of a delay, but we're getting ready to go racing and time attacking and drifting and rush SR racing all day long.
I got to tell you, that open that we just watched really encapsulated what GRIDLIFE is all about. Every aspect of it, the inclusion of virtually every potential kind of motorsport, and then some of the just spectacular venues to go along with the sort of club venues. It's such a wonderful mix. Everything about it's great. And yes, the racing is amazing. This venue, of course, very historic. And, the journey to get out here, second time we've been here now. I've been here enough times over my career to know that in the fall, that morning marine layer fog can really wreak havoc with things. But when it lifts and burns away like it is now, it generally turns into a stunning day. It's about 58 degrees right now. Our high today should be 70. I mean, about perfect.
It's going to be a beautiful weekend here just to finish off the day of action here, our motorsports competition. And it's our second festival here at Laguna Seca, the only full course drifting this track hosts. Over 250 competitors and drifters have joined us here this weekend. And this is the round 5 of that festival tour. Again, we have another look at the racetrack from around. The fog has lifted, and this broadcast, of course, is always brought to you by Falcon, the official tire of GRIDLIFE Track Battle, and NOS Energy, the official energy drink sponsor of GRIDLIFE and the title partner of the NOS Energy Track Battle Time Attack. And this racetrack, this place, is one of the greats of North American road racing. Since 1957, this place has been here. It's changed a little bit in the 1980s, but this 2.238-mile racetrack, Greg, it is one of America's most historic places.
It is, and it features some absolutely amazing corners. The Andretti hairpin, that double apex corner kind of falls away. Then into the section that was created in the 80s, you alluded to, 3 and 4, right through that dry lake bed, Laguna Seca. And then the key turn 5. It starts the climb of about 180 feet or so up to the very top of the corkscrew. But in the middle of that climb is the momentum kill. Turn 6. Look at how angular it is. Big compression right at the apex. You have to have that in your game plan or it's going to bite you. And then up into the corkscrew, obviously a hugely iconic corner and also a great overtaking area.
Yeah, 59-foot drop at the corkscrew, 109 feet down through Rainy Curve. That's the corner that everyone tells me after you drive this place. The corkscrew is almost a secondary thought to Rainy Curve. Into turn 10, that's a fast right-hand turn that leads you into turn 11. We almost saw a pass for the win on the last lap there yesterday in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup. It's where you square things off and get set to go around for another loop at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. So that is our court today. You got to keep it in the boundaries.
Exactly.
And upcoming is the NOS Energy Track Battle Championship qualifying number 2. Now, because we're in a little bit of a delay because of the fog this morning, things are going to run a little quicker, so we're going to have to keep up with it here. But our qualifying format, Greg, how we do this is effectively we've got 8 competition classes ranging from things from the Toyota Yaris all the way up to, 2,000 horsepower supercars. This is a race against the clock, and the whole idea here is these qualifyings, you need to be in the top 5 in your category to make the podium sprint, which is where you can pick up a trophy. And you need to get into that top 5 because later today you're going to run 2 laps by yourself to show us what you got and put yourself on the podium.
Yeah, it's really just sort of revolutionized the concept of time attack or track battle the way that GRIDLIFE now does it with that podium sprint. So in the 3 qualifying sessions, whatever your best time is in any of those 3, if it's good enough in the combined sessions to have you in the top 5, you get to go for the trophies and, of course, the highest level of points. But you still can get a point for setting a track record at the end of the weekend if it holds in any. It could be practice, qualifying, podium, sprint. I have a feeling that this is the time when we're going to see the fastest laps that we're probably going to see. We had that marine layer, and there is a little moisture in that. The windshields are misty. So the track has a little bit of mist to it. We just had the Rush SR cars out for qualifying. They'll have helped that a little bit. But these first few groups going out here might take a little bit for them to find that really fast line. But I think conditions right now are perfect for just wickedly fast speeds.
Cool racetrack, and the cool air is also going to help the engines make all the power they can here. Down into the first corner, there's the kink left into the Andretti hairpin. On the left-hand side of your screen, you see the advancing and chasing. Those that are above that chasing line are currently qualified into the podium sprint later today. Those below it need to find some time. There's only a 10th between Lou and Fuentes there. That's a battle to watch. We've also got our Falcon Sunday Cup cars on track, and that cut line is so tight, 0.03 of a second between Esting and Ward.
And this is really the interesting facet of this is the fact that you've got to be in that top 5. So these qualifying runs, yes, you want to set an absolutely fast lap. You want to get after it, maybe get that record, get that point. But your bigger goal is just make sure you're in that top 5. Because if you're in the top 5, you get to go to the podium sprint. You're locked in for that. If you're out of that top 5, where you are is where you are, right? So you'd be 6th, 8th, 12th, whatever. But it's the top 5 where you get the showcase moment in this new format for the NOS Energy Time Attack Championship, and I love it.
And the guy that's on top of the board in Falcon Club TR right now is Hackman, driving an F22C powered S2000. And he's done low 39s with Hoosiers and no aero. So this is not the trim that the car is in here. It's, of course, running the spec Falcon RT660. But he didn't have a wing, so he borrowed someone's trunk with the wing on it so he could compete here this weekend. How about a story? And he's up on top right now.
Well, this is a high downforce track because, it's a relatively short track, compared to some of the big ones. It's kind of average, really, for GRIDLIFE competition. But you look at the turns here, and they're all really long-duration corners. And in a long-duration corner, you're fairly slow here through Andretti, but all the rest of them, if it's a long duration corner, you want as much downforce as you can to give that car stick and let it really roll speed through the apex and to track out. And so I'm not surprised that he went on a treasure hunt to get that wing.
Yeah, and his fastest time so far this weekend, I think, has been a 1:47.49. So he's improved that. A 1:40.110 is what he's got now. Jedwin Tassin in the 213 car runs in second right now, about half a second back. But that cut line is what everyone's watching. It's Jake Montanol in the 929, and then it is Daniel Fuentes in the 172. And Fuentes is driving a Honda Civic. So he's in chase right now, 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, just about a quarter of a second back. And yeah, it might, obviously that's very little time in the grand scheme of normal life, but in the world of racing, a quarter of a second can be an eternity when you're trying to find it, and you're improving by hundreds. you know, and that's the name of the game here, and that's the fascinating thing about motorsports is how so many different drivers and such different equipment can end up within that half a second amount of time. It really is extraordinary.
A little bit of hesitation getting back to the throttle there through turn 10, but Nate Hackman is getting after it right now, up onto the front straightaway again. We'll see if he can improve once more. He's got the purple wipe there across the top of the screen, and he does a 1:39.750, and just puts a period on it. Here comes Tassini, also improves to 1:40.066, so the battle at the top is close right now.
Wow, that's literally a quarter of a second essentially. And Liu, look at that big jump from Liu from 5th to 3rd, and that's what you want. You want to be able to confer, or solidify things.
And more shuffling up and down the order here, and that is I think that's a team entry, the 217 car.
Reaction Racing.
Yeah, Joel Reyes, I believe, is behind the wheel of that car. And he's up to P5, drops Jake Montanola out of it, and that is now a 0.4 of a second differential. And on the background, we got Sunday Cup cars. This picture has shifted quite a bit. Sam Dooling, who drove all the way here from Michigan to be here this weekend. They put different suspension on the car. Or no, the suspension they left alone. They put different tires on the car. They put the stock seats back in the car just so that it wouldn't be awful to drive in all the way here. But look at how much this cut line is shuffling in Sunday Cup as well.
Oh, it's incredible. And the guy, Shar, was super quick in this yesterday. And he's, suddenly finding himself with some work to do, sitting in the 5th spot. And there you said Dooling right there as well. And another change.
Wow.
Dooling all the way up to 2nd, Kyle.
Yeah, 1:53.306 for that fit. And here comes the 254. It is a revolving door. We know how fast things can get here. And I would not be surprised to see track records going as well. The Sunday Cup record is a 1:52.422. We are just 200ths away from that, as Shar is now bumped out of the top 5. Big slide into turn 5 for somebody. I think that was... which car was that? I think that was Ward, potentially. No, that was Wargo in the 135, I think, who just went to the top of the board.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, just looking at the time, yesterday Lucas Schar's fast time in the afternoon session was a 1:55.3. So they have found basically 3 seconds, and I'll guarantee you that's conditional.
Yeah.
They're tweaking on the cars too, but this is prime time for speed.
You hear the open diff on the run down the hill there. They are charging right now into Rainy Curve, pushing the limit. This is like your intro racing into Gran Turismo. You've got to push to make up all the points you can. Taylor Wargo clobbers the curb there in turn 10. He is pushing, trying to get himself as far up on top of the board as he can. We know these sessions are going to be kind of short because of the delay. Look at him chuck that thing into 11.
Beautiful rotation, and in a front wheel, and even so, he still ran a little wide at the exit. But that's what you want in one of these front drive cars. When you turn in, you want that back to rotate a little bit because it sort of nulls out the push. If you can make that happen, and push means where the front doesn't want to turn, and you get that back to rotate, it nulls that push out. You can pick the throttle up without lifting that inside front tire because it's so loaded. And if he wouldn't have run wide there, he had that really played well. But look at the time here now in Falcon Club TR, that 1:39.3 by Tassin.
Yeah, that's an amazing time, and it's not quite a track record, but it's only 0.2 off. Allen in the 435 is just behind. It drops Hackman down to 3rd place as we watch and continue to watch Taylor Wargo. Sam Dooling has gone to the top by 0.4 of a second.
All right. We may have a new best race car driver name ever. Dooling. That is just perfect.
Well, he is, isn't he?
Yeah, he truly is. So, dueling Wargo, then the 254, then Shar. And isn't Shar another one who's driven his car?
Yeah, so Shar drove
country?
all the way across the country, and he was out of tire, so he had to drive 3 hours away to get another set of used Falcon RT 660s, and he got back here late last night, put those tires on the car. Here he is now 4th place, and he's in by only 0.2 of a second. It is so tight here.
Yeah, Inaraldi really jumped up there, slotting into the 5th spot in the 188 with Coughlin, Paez, Austin, Ward, and Reinhardt completing the field. And, you look at these cars, folks, and, if you're wondering, are these really fun? Oh, my goodness, are they fun? And it is the best bang for the buck in terms of cost versus entertainment that you can get in probably motorsports right now. Other series, these would be called a B-spec car, and it's just, the idea is pretty much turnkey, get in it, and go have fun. And they're not designed to be, super fast cars. They're just cars that are designed to be hustled and really have fun in.
Nick Allen has taken the Falcon Club TR track record from Fez Bobber, who set it here last year to 139.1. We have a new record holder in that 435 car, Greg. So these morning sessions are proving fruitful here in Falcon Club TR.
Yeah, it's just so chill, literally, out here right now, about 60 degrees, which the engines love it. And the track temperatures are down a little bit. Oh, and the brakes are going to love those cool temps. And then the track temp being down a little bit, you can really push the tires there a little wide.
And
see, he missed the apex there going in and then ended up running a wide line. And in these cars, you want to run the shortest route you can because these things just don't have power.
Checkered flag is out, and we also have a new track record in Falcon Sunday Cup, a 151.993, and that is a track record, Greg, by half a second.
Wow. Well, getting it done.
You have to.
That's
Q3
impressive.
later, it's going to get warmer today.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
so
it
I
is.
don't know. If you have a really good session later, I think you can still find some time. But Q2 is really where you got to show your stuff.
Yeah.
And I think, we've seen a lot of shuffling in this session. And if you're a guy like Shar, who's only less than 0.2 above that cut line, Coughlin less than 0.2 above that cut line, you really are going to hope that no one goes faster later.
You absolutely are. And it's going to be difficult, I think, for people to go significantly quicker later because the conditions are so perfect right now. So like this last lap here can be everything. If you can really execute on this last lap and dig deep, move up a couple of spots here. Let's see if he can do that. Coming to the line here, and looked like his run, the part we saw looked really, really clean. Question is, was it quick enough? Let's see what he does at the line.
It is not faster, but he didn't need to go faster. There's still a few more that are going to trickle to the stripe. Let's see if anybody can move up into the mix. Coughlin, I believe, is in this mini that's approaching the stripe now. And no pickup there. And Shar, no pickup, and no pickup for them either. I think this is dueling now, coming to the checkers. I'm not sure that he was on a fast lap, but we'll find out pretty quickly. Hand out the window, no pickup. So that's Falcon Sunday Cup. Let's have a look at the results here of Q2. Now, this is still pending the results of qualifying 3 later today. But Nick Allen, with a new track record, jumps to the top in his Toyota 86 with a 139.057. Jedwin Tassine, second place, a 139.380. Nate Hackman, Peter Granberg, and Vinka Liu, they make up your top 5, as the rest of the field is just trying to find some speed here in the morning hours. Let's head over to the Falcon Sunday Cup category, and Taylor Wargo goes to the top, breaking the track record, and so did Sam Dooling, but he sits second. Then his team Race FF pod, I suppose. Lucas Shar, Jack Coughlin, the rest of your top 5 there. And Shar, again, was leading coming into this session, but now he's a little on the back foot heading into Q3.
Yeah, sitting 4th. And look there, between Coughlin and Inaraldi, it is literally a 1/10 of a second. And you think, again, we've talked about that. That sounds like such a little amount of time, but in a race car, that's a lot of time to try and find, especially when your next opportunity is not going to be quite in this level of condition that is really conducive to fast speeds.
Well, that was fun, and I think it's about to get a lot more fun because we've gotten plenty more of this. And, Greg, I have to be honest, the NOS Energy Track Battle Championship in this podium sprint format, the focus on the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th of each category has made this so entertaining because we know that we're going to see Jedwin Tessine again. We know we're going to see Nate Hackman again, but watching people that are on the cut line there, even in Sunday Cup with Lucas Schar and those around him, you get to focus on a different part of the field because we are going to see the top 5 drivers again later. But those that are just on the fringe of getting in, that's where the excitement is for me.
It is. And what it does is, I mean, it's always been a competition, but it turns it into much more of a what's the word? An entertaining, presentable competition instead of just looking for fast laps. Now you've got sort of a run order, and every time you go out, the concept of qualifying takes on a little new meaning because you're not just going out and just running laps in a session and looking for that fast lap and that record. Now you've got a target, if you will. And that's what makes it really compelling. And if you make it in there, folks, if you haven't seen the podium sprint later today, you are going to love that, where it's each car goes out, gets 2 laps, and you've got to find it in those 2 laps. And if you have a problem on the first lap, you got to be able to just push all that anxiety and nervousness down, find it, and get after it in that second lap, and it is just so entertaining.
It is, and we are hearing that there's a little bit of oil between turns 10 and 11, so we're going to have to take a few minutes to clean that up. In the meantime, that is Savannah Little and Nick Steniford hanging out on the hillside there. And hey, guys, how's it going? I see you hanging out. I think Nick's got a race coming up here not too long from now, about an hour, 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, he's just chilling.
Enjoying the sun. It was not, we were all chilling earlier.
Well, this is true.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out here this weekend because we've got a team of track cleanup professionals from the other side of the country.
Yeah.
Adam Jabay has brought in the rescue guys who do all sorts of motorsport cleanup for tracks around the Midwest. We are so thrilled to have them here this weekend. We've brought them all the way over. They are so stoked. They've got their tie-dye shirts and everything. They're just the best, some of the best in the business, and we're so lucky to have them here. And, I heard that their eyes were very wide walking around Laguna Seca, just getting to check it out for the first time.
Well, this place is legendary, isn't it? And to be able to come here, and they are so good at what they do, yet they do it with such a fun-loving attitude and everything. And you see the guy giving the directions over there. That's Adam Jabay. That's the guy who has created the rule book, essentially, for everything here. And I think his shining moment is, without a doubt, the rule book for GLTC, for the GRIDLIFE touring cars, to be able to have Corvettes and Civics and everything in between with engine swaps running in the same class competitively. It's just really stout what he's done. But, I mean, tell you what they've done here with the NOS Energy Track Battle as well has been remarkable. And you can see they're putting down that super absorbent powder, and then you see them backing across it with those brushes, and it just grinds it down in there and forces the moisture up into this junk, and then they can blow it away.
Yeah, it's a clever system, and keeps the track from getting too slippery. And, of course, a track like this with so many high-speed, high-compression corners, got to make sure that the surface is ready. Adam Jabay takes his job super seriously and wants to make sure that this track is prepped for everybody here, Greg.
Absolutely. And the last thing you want, the nice thing is this is the last turn, and that is well offline. But as you come into the turn, your right side tires are going to be where that fluid line hits. Then you would turn into the apex, but then you're going to exit right out and across that. So obviously you want to get this track as in such a good shape with as much grip as you can possibly offer. And anything down on the track, when you got a hot race tire and you hit oil, gear lube, whatever it might be, that's a spooky moment.
Yeah, I think what's the rest of the field is wondering now, if they're aware that this is going on, is this going to impact my lap times here? Because this is such a fast session this morning with the cool track temps. You don't really want to have any kind of surface condition. And I imagine for the first few laps, the braking zone here is going to get a little bit tight and a little slippery. But we just see the 1 minute finger there by Carson on pit lane. Thanks, Carson. Good to see you down there. There's Mike Cohn helping us out on grid as well this weekend. Hi, guys. We don't usually get to talk on the PA to them, so it's kind of fun.
This is pretty cool.
It's fun to have a chatter back and forth. But these cars about ready to get rolling here. So, Greg, in just a moment, we're going to turn them loose.
Yeah, looking forward to watching this session, because now we start to really pick up the speed. And keep your eyes on that second car there. That is one fast Corvette.
That's Andy Vogel. That is your 2024 NOS Energy Track Battle Championship.
Clinched it already.
Clincher, yeah. He clinched it, and he not only clinched it, he did one better than that. He got another full race weekend with full points and a track record, and then he finished second somewhere else, too. So he's got it clinched already. He's here for fun, also competing in the Rush SR Series here this weekend. But
doing well in that.
Doing
too,
top 5, I believe, as well.
Exactly.
Fans are rolling in the gate, Greg.
Yeah,
this
they
is
are.
An exciting day here. We've got a great lineup tonight. Madian and San Holo are here this evening. DJ sets performing on the main stage, and we are expecting a pretty sizable crowd here, larger than last year. And it's all very exciting. I mean, this is all about getting people into motorsports. Maybe those that would have never had a reason to go to a racetrack before, or didn't find a love of motorsports, they will find it here this weekend if they have any even fleeting interest in it. Cars are rolling, and we're going green here for the NOS Energy Track Battle Championship Qualifying 2. This is Street GT, Street, and Street Modified. So let's pull up our standings, as it were, for the Street Mod category, and here's where we stand. It's Schaefer, Team Cal and Jerry. That's Cal Fortner and Jerry Lou. Mike Amick, Watson, and Baxi, your top 5, and then about 1.7 seconds back is Panay in the 189 car. Now, that's a pretty sizable gap to make up.
It is, but, we don't know for sure if, Panay, Chen, those guys maybe had just a little issue in that qualifying session yesterday, missed the setup a little bit, and we know the conditions are really fast now. So, yes, everybody up in front of you could very well be putting up those kind of numbers and improving as well, but this is an opportunity. If you just missed on the setup and you got it dialed in, track conditions are going to be really, really solid to be able to go out and really knock a lap down. And there you see Vogel in that extraordinary lap he put in yesterday, almost 2 seconds clear of Robles.
Yeah, really strong effort there. Robles in the 874. Then Zong, who's in a Tesla Model 3 in that 626. I think he's in one. I know Vong Hei in the 258 is as well, but he needs to find a couple of seconds to make it up into the top 5. We also have our street class cars on track. We don't have a ton of those here this weekend. For whatever reason, we seem to have a lot of track mod and street GT cars, so very similar machines, but it is Dries leading the way right now, 140.033 in a Hyundai Elantra N.
Well, the good thing for the entire street entry is they'll make it to podium sprint.
They will.
But one thing that we sort of found, we came out here last year was, when the locals come out to take part in this, California is an area where people like to tweak on cars. So pretty much the entries in the mod categories are just off the charts here, and there's some absolutely extraordinary machines. So it's not really surprising to see like our Sunday Cup entries down a little bit street because you really can't do a whole lot to those cars. But boy, the classes where you can do a little work on the cars are huge.
A little work going on in the pedal box of that 84. That's
busy.
Steven Schaefer, the leader in Street Mod right now. And in the Street Modified category, we've seen the Toyota GR Supras be a very popular choice in the past handful of years, especially once they had a couple small adjustments and iterations on the car, and the most recent ones are extremely capable and can hold a lot of power from bolt-on modifications. And there's a bunch of different shops that make aero components for them now, and I think the potential of these cars is incredibly high. Just note that the second place car, Team Cal and Jerry, that is a Porsche Cayman that the Supra is outrunning.
The Supra's outrunning, and that's usually a Mercedes that team runs. So they said, well, we need a car that's a little bit more suited maybe to this track, and are giving it everything. I've got to ask, and I don't mean to put you on the spot here, what does GR stand for in the Toyota lineup?
Gazoo Racing, which is Toyota.
Gazoo Racing.
Yep.
Okay.
So you got it, and that's kind of their performance line of cars now, and they've got the GR86, the GR Corolla as well. In Europe, they've got the GR Yaris, which we wanted to get, but we got the GR Corolla instead. That'll have to do. Look at all the speedy dry down here, so this might make things a little slick on corner exit. But Schaefer's going to roll out of turn 11. We'll see if he can pick up some time. Vogel has run him down, so we'll see if Schaefer picks up. He will not. Vogel will not either.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Oh, he does.
He goes to a 133, Kyle.
Oh, he does.
From a 134 that he had earlier. That was a lap.
And you saw Schaefer kind of pull out of the way. I think he knew Vogel had a head of steam coming.
Yeah, I think so.
And Craig Coker picks up
Oh, nice lap by Coker.
An 8:05, in the 8:05 car, I should say.
What did he go? 35. Yeah, his lap earlier was a 37.1. So he found almost a second and a half.
Mark Kilgore.
I think that's the conditions.
It is, and Vong Hay picks up as well. Kilgore jumps into the top 5 there with a 37.3. This is going to be a really interesting session. We'll try to keep you up to date on all the shifting and shuffling that's going on between these two categories. And the 226, Cal Fortner's taking that 226 car to the top by 0.2 of a second.
That's a lap. That's impressive, and that came in clearly working really well here as we watch Vocal now up, dropping into the, look at that. And, you were talking about the numbers. It's 100 feet drop from the top of the corkscrew to the exit of Rainey here. But the more extreme part of it is you literally lose, when you turn into the corkscrew, you lose 5 stories of elevation in 500 feet.
Yeah, this racetrack has 180 feet of elevation over the course of the lap, and 61% of it happens in 2 corners. So just a fun stat. Here comes Vocal again out of turn 11. He is on a charge again. 33.7 is the time to beat, and he will do it again. 33.239. And this is 1.2 seconds clear of the track record from last year. So we're not even in the same zip code anymore.
Just blowing it out of the water. And you know what? They'd be even faster. Except for that speedy dry down in the turn. What it does is certainly it absorbs that moisture, but the speedy dry itself, it's like dust on the track. It's going to be a little slick until it blows off, and you can see them being careful about how they're squaring up the exit and the like, but you just can't turn in full tilt, so there's might be even more to be had here a little bit later on.
Chris Watson in the 237 is picked up to a 136.877, so that's a pickup of a second from yesterday. Panay in the 189, that's also a pickup for that car, which is a BMW M3.
And he was not long ago was outside of that. He was in the chasing mode, so Panay has found it and has been able to move up. But look at how close that margin is back to Baxi. I mean, it's a 1/10 of a second essentially. So that's what we see here.
626 is on. This is a Chevrolet Corvette C5, this yellow car, front of the shot. And right now, he is 1/10 of a second out. He needs a 10th to get in to the podium sprint. He's being chased by Mike Amick in the Street Mod Subaru. And then the 226, which is that Cal Fortner-driven Porsche Cayman.
I'll tell you, when we have that shot of the cars going up through turn 6, you can literally hear what that compression right at the apex does to the car. Let's see now. See that now they're starting to get that oil dry, that absorbent pushed away. So now they're going to be a little, I should say, to be a little bit more aggressive coming out of those turns, of that last turn.
And it's not a pickup there.
No.
And I don't think we've seen it in Street Mod this lap by either. But there's that 226. Cal Fortner and Jerry Lou teaming up here. The reason why Cal was not able to bring the Mercedes-AMG GTS was because of a potential issue with the transmission. And it was one of those things where you're going to pull it, take a look at it. It could be a very simple fix, or it could not be. But they didn't want to risk having to tear it all apart and then hope it works here, right? So get a car that you know is going to be reliable. Get back up into the points conversation here. And pairing up with Jerry Lou's never a bad idea. He's been fast.
Yeah, never. And I'll tell you, there are a few cars that are more turnkey than Porsches. To be able, they just have a history of being very reliable as well as fast. I'm going to listen to this here if we get that up to this cut. You hear that little change in the note. It's just you've got to have that compression in your head as you come up and make that turn in.
Yeah, next time we get that turn 6 shot, you can see the pavement is torn up from the amount of compression that the cars are hitting through there. And the cars' underbodies are scraping there. That could be LMP2s, but it also could be Honda Fits here this week.
Yeah, it certainly could be. And I'll tell you, the only thing I've seen more crazy through turn 6 than race cars is the motorcycles. When they are racing here and they hit that, they, as Roger Hayden said, you just G out, they call it, where you go right to the bottom of the bump stops on the forks and the rear shocks, and then it rebounds like crazy.
See if Zong can pick up this time. He does not. Fortner still at a 134.5. Here comes, I think this is going to be Kilgore potentially. No, this is Dustin Williams, sorry. And Dustin Williams has currently scored third. This would be a really exciting weekend for Dustin. He has been in Grid Life now with us for a couple of years. Of course, everyone is familiar with his YouTube channel and all the great adventures he goes on across the world and in Japan. And he has elected to try out this BMW M2 on for size. And if he was able to qualify, it looks like things are pretty good now, then he will make his first podium sprint appearance later today. And I am excited to see that happen. Dustin's put a lot of effort in. And this car is relatively stock, but he is performing very well amongst cars that have quite a few modifications on them.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job. And I was just watching his exit of the Andretti hairpin. He left a lot of road he could have used to roll a little bit more speed. And so I think if he can get to that point where he's using all the track on exit, there's more yet that is capable for him here. It'd be fun to see if he can make that move up, maybe give Coker a run for that top 2 spot.
Yeah, Zong did a nice job there getting out of the way into turn 6. That's a tricky place to escape. Dustin's now down through the corkscrew. Looked like he might have backed off a little bit. In through Rainy Curve. This is really the corner that I think catches everyone off guard, because the corkscrew is the one everyone knows and talks about, but Rainy Curve is a special corner, Greg.
Oh, it's tricky. It is so tricky. It's banked, and it angles. You know, the angle changes a little bit as you run in it, and you think, okay, look at the banking, I can hustle it, and then it flattens out, and suddenly you're just sideways through there. We've seen a few cars be all crossed up through there a few times coming through, really on the limit here.
And across the stripe for Dustin Williams. No pickup, stays at a 36 flat. By the way, street class, there has been a little shuffle on the order. Greg Formosa moves up into second place, just behind Willem Dries in that Hyundai Elantra N that we talked about there. Checkered flag is out, and this is a street GT car coming to the stripe here. And under the gantry, and it is no pickup there. There's the Sunoco checkered flag being waved. Adam Jabay hanging up there in the flag stand as well. Hi, Adam. I don't know if he can hear me. It's loud up there.
Yeah.
I heard the echo of my laughter.
I know.
Well.
I know.
I don't know
yes.
if I like that.
Yeah.
Across the stripe there, and Street GT, Street Mod, and Street Class are wrapping up. A little bit of gravel in the background there.
Yeah.
And that is a bailout there, I would say.
That was very smart, actually. That got all sideways, and then if you try and come back across that curb, it can really unsettle the car. And the smart move is just straighten it out. You know, the lap's done. Just straighten it out. Gently ease onto the track once you get past that aggregated curbing.
Baxi picks up just enough to put some more distance between himself and the 189. So there's now a 1.3 second differential. That could be important later today.
Well, that was huge, because remember, not that long ago, Panay was in the 5th spot. And Baxi was chasing, and he found something pretty significant there.
Look at your street class. Just a little shuffle here. Willem Dries, Greg Formosa, Luke Lederman, Ernie Ramirez are your top 4 of the 4 that we've got here in street class here this weekend. Street GT, this one changed a little bit. Craig Coker jumps up to second place. Williams hangs on to third, but it's all behind Andy Vogel, who has absolutely obliterated the track record again, as he has done so many times. There's got to be a record for how many records he's broken this season.
Yeah, you'd think. Everywhere. He has just been on form. Has that Corvette absolutely dialed. It's working beautifully, and Andy is just driving the wheels off it.
And then looking down to Steven Schaefer in the 884. He leads in his GR Supra in Street Mod team. Cal and Jerry in second place. They moved up in the lead momentarily, but it was knocked back down by Schaefer later in the session. Almec, Watson, and Baxi holding on pretty conservatively there to that top 5.
Tell you what, I think Baxi is going to be really thrilled with that lap, because, like I said, Panay was in front of him. Baxi found over a second and a half to jump up, and we've talked about how this afternoon it's probably not going to be as quick out there, so somebody would have to find something major in the car or in the nut behind the wheel, make some big adjustment there to really find something. And I think Baxi is going to be just grinning with that lap, because I think he knows he just did something special.
Look at the parking lots filling up. The concourses are filling up as well. The car shows. Subi Mods is here with a showcase. The Hyundai Owners Club is here this weekend. Really exciting to see everything filling in as our Track Mod group takes to the racetrack. They get their own group here this weekend because of how many entries we have in this fun category. Supercars and highly modified, I guess you could call them more normal road cars. You get a little mix of everything here. And we've got our track mod runner-up here this weekend. That's Jackie Ding in the PhD Racing M2. Yesterday, that car looked a little wild.
Did.
And we'll see if he's made some setup changes and adjustments and see how it looks. But here is your current running order. It's Zamora, Wong, Perkins, Ding, and Hodge, your top 5, and about 0.6 of a second between Hodge and Powers for the cut line.
Yeah, and you know, Jackie Ding sitting there in 4th. Normally he's a little bit farther up, and he's not that far clear. You talked about Hodge and Powers in particular, so it's only a second from Ding to Powers. And again, if Powers can do what a Baxi just did, he can find himself in some pretty solid position here. But Zamora, that's a great lap. Second clear of everybody in the warmer afternoon yesterday. Let's see what he can do today.
Yeah, and Zamora, if I recall, was our winner of the track modified category last year. And this Porsche 911 is over a second away from Wong, Gary Wong, in the Toyota GR Supra. Those things show up everywhere, don't they? Brad Perkins in his M3, he's all the way from Kansas here, drove all the way here. So did Jackie Ding. And then Hodge, of course, in that number 89 on another GR Supra. Powers in a Corvette. And then Azmat Muhammad, we talked about him yesterday in that number 50, a brand new Corvette C8 Z06 that I think there's a lot of question marks about how fast it's going to go, and it has gone quickly so far. Here we go. Here's Zamora in that 274.
Did you see who was just behind him? Just lighting up the rears coming out of turn 11, pushing hard.
The sound of a flat 6 never gets old.
No, it is such a signature sound, isn't it? Easily recognizable anywhere. Still one of the prettiest sounds a race car can make.
Kind of missed turn 3 there a little. And then there was a little tire rub or something. Maybe, I don't know if it was a lockup or a rub.
I think the car kind of walked a little sideways a little bit. It just, as I call it sometimes, skated a little bit sideways, and I think then it just loaded up that left rear. I'm thinking that was tire rub. Oh, listen to that.
Oh, that's so good. Unbelievable.
That gets the hair on the back of the neck standing up, that's for sure. There's Jackie.
Jackie's
into view right now.
Gosh, it's so good. It's so good. You know what my favorite thing about Porsche road cars, too, is that they sound a lot like the race cars, don't they?
They do.
Although this looks like it, without getting a close-up look at it, kind of looks like a Cup car or a variation of one.
Yeah,
I think the Cup cars have VIN numbers, so they would be eligible for this category.
Yeah, I think that absolutely.
And up onto the front straightaway, can Zamora improve on a 130.614? Not the first time by. What does Jackie Ding have in the M2?
Yes, I think he's got the capability. Yeah.
Yes.
I was watching him a little bit in the background, and that car, you had noted how it looked really, really loose yesterday. And what I was seeing in the background, it looks a lot more stuck. So that was a big find by Jackie.
Yeah, we're not quite in record-breaking territory for track mod just yet. We need another 0.2 of a second to do that. And who would be the one to dethrone it? It would be Gabe Zamora, because he's the track record holder, a 130.471.
That lap by Jackie was 2.5 seconds quicker than what he ran yesterday afternoon. I mean, that was a big find for him.
Yeah, it is warming up pretty quickly here. Rob Dahm, by the way, just picked up to a 141.567 in 12th. That's that 3-rotor RX-7, the Pikes Peak car that we talked about yesterday for a little while. There he is in the middle of turn 2. But as far as the cut line, it's Kenton King by 0.2 over Hodge. There's Rob Dahm. This thing's got some serious aero on it, doesn't it?
Wow, incredible. Obviously taking an easy lap right now. Going to get ready to go after it again, I'm sure.
And the thing I really appreciate about Rob Dahm is his mechanical sympathy and his understanding and appreciation of engineering.
Yeah.
And his YouTube channel is just such a great insight into what it takes to build these cars, to understand what makes them tick. And it's a GR86 out here in track mod, which feels lonely. It's Sun Vo, currently 11th in class, right ahead of Rob Dahm there. And that car running a 39.7. I mean, he's got some aero on it, but this GR86 is having its neck wrung right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. just throwing it around, running wide at the exit of Rainey, but gathered it up. Really looked good there through 10.
Kenton King picked up in 5th place. Grows the cut line about a second now as Vo leaves turn 11 and will head back up under the gantry. We'll see what he's got this time through. Is it a pickup into the top 10 potentially? It will be a pickup, but not enough to move him forward. A 1:39.540. Here comes Dom. No pickup that time. Cabrera, Nolan, they both pick up, but Nolan a little faster than Cabrera and will leapfrog him. Chris Boersma, no pickup. Here's Ding again into turn 6. Wow. Zamora just ran a 29.8.
Oh my goodness,
Gabe
that's
Zamora,
a lap, yeah.
Snuck that through us. New track record in the track modified category. And Jackie Ding is now set chase. Oh. Too much through the corkscrew.
And you get that where you run wide and then you have to, it's the classic deal, isn't it? When you're still turning and you try to increase the amount of input into the steering wheel, and then you lose the back end as it falls away. He did a brilliant job to save it.
Did it again.
Boy, he's on. And look at Wong just did. Jumped in between Zamora and Ding. Great lap for Wong in the 288. That's Gary Wong. That's Supra.
That's impressive. Yeah, so Zamora, 29.677, resets the track record he just set. And Azmat Muhammad in the Corvette up to 5th place, knocks Kenton King out. King improved, but it's not enough. Powers improves, but it's not enough. So Muhammad in the C8Z06 has put himself in podium sprint contention by 0.3 of a second. Look at all the green on the timing and scoring.
Yeah, they're coming after it. And I was going to say Powers had made a move of about 3 positions there. He's still in chasing, but not a bad lap, and only 0.3 separating Muhammad and King. So that's part of it here too, but I'm waiting to see now. Hopefully we have time left, because I think Jackie, when he had the problem in the corkscrew, he had plenty of time to just sort of collect everything and then be able to put another one in here.
The car I'm wondering about is the 89 of Brandon Hodge. He was in the podium sprint at the beginning of this session, and he has since gotten knocked well down the order into 8th place. No green this time through. How about for Jessica Powers? That's a pickup for her in the 191 to a 144.155. That's a new car for her, so she's still kind of getting used to it.
Yeah, for Hodge, he had a 33.9 yesterday in the heat of the day. He's only been able to find 0.3, while others have been finding a fair chunk more than that. Jackie Ding said, nope, I'm done.
I think he's probably pretty safe for the podium sprint, but you might want to save the little tire for later today. I think that's
just
probably wise.
Yeah.
I think this is Kenton King, top of the screen, I believe. There's a couple Porsche 911s out here. Let's see what this car's got. Across the stripe. And it is the 748 of Kenton King, but it is not an improvement. We'll see if he can get one, though. Hodge picks up to 7th, so now there's 2 drivers.
That's a gain, yeah.
A little wide there for King, but he tucked it in really nicely at the exit of the hairpin. So he is on the chase right now. And there's Hodge, also in chase.
Yeah, see how much he gives up at the exit of Andretti there? That's what I was seeing as well with Dom. And if you use a little bit more of the track, you can roll a little bit more exit speed. And, when you're up against guys like Zamora, Wong, Ding, you can't give up anything.
Ooh, Ken King left some dust in the air for Hodge to drive through. Both of these cars are just under half a second behind Azmat Muhammad.
Ooh,
little push into 5. I think Hodge's lap will be over. King, though, still could be on a quick one.
Yeah, I think he could.
He's still back on it. Up into the corkscrew here. I would expect a checker very soon for this session.
And the one thing that's interesting to me is that the 3rd qualifying session, which is going to happen in the heat of the day before the podium sprint, for the guys that are fairly comfortable in their advancing into the podium sprint, that's going to be a really important test session, setup session for them. All right, I get this car dialed for now the warmer conditions that we're going to see for a podium sprint. So that 3rd qualifying session has a lot of
4th place.
Wow.
Knocks Muhammad out. Perkins is on the cut line. Hodge is not going to have enough to get back to the checkers here. Here comes Josh Powers. Does he have anything for the cut line? A 133.1 closes in, Greg, but Muhammad is out. And is he going to get back in? He will not. So if he doesn't do it in Q3, his efforts this weekend could be over for a podium.
Wow, unbelievable. And you can see there, was it Powers in that black Corvette?
Yeah.
He really had stepped out on him big time under throttle coming out of 11. And not that he would have moved up significantly, but that probably cost him 2-3 tenths.
Yeah, Kenton King gave it all he had there, and it counted 131.864. This is a really tight track mod group. We knew it was going to be competitive. But Kenton's got plenty of experience in cars like this. And there still is a cool breeze up here in the booth area, Greg. So
yes, there is.
In moments of stagnant air, it gets pretty warm, and the track is probably going to heat up quite a bit, but the air temperature is definitely still making power in these engines, I'd say. Down the hill and on a cool down. And it seems like the track has quieted because a lot of these the higher you get in the categories, the less long your car is going to be able to run.
Exactly.
Typically.
Exactly. Yeah, they aren't designed to go out and run, 30-minute sessions. They're designed to go out, put in 2-3 really fast laps. And we got some cars coming up in the unlimited group.
Gosh.
One of them it hasn't proven to be all that quick relative to some of the other cars, but as an engineering exercise, it is extraordinary. It's an old Datsun 510 with a big old V8 jammed in it, and the aero in particular on the back of that thing is airplane level size, not efficiency, just size. It's huge. So that's going to be a lot of fun. There's a CRX that's running out there, a little Honda CRX. I often thought when the CRX came out, it was a 1.5 liter 4, right? Well, in that same era, Ayrton Senna was running a Honda powered McLaren with a 1.5 liter turbo 4. I always thought, let's drop one of those in.
I think that would be great. There's actually a little side project that's been happening in the background of the GRIDLIFE garage archives that Chris Stewart, one of the co-founders here at GRIDLIFE and the creative director, was always a fan of CRXs. He's got several of them, and one of them is currently getting wide-bodied and fitted with not the newest Type R, but I can't remember the generation names of whatever the 11th gen Honda Civic is, the Type R motor.
Oh,
in it.
Yeah.
And roll cage and all
a CRX?
Stuff, and a CRX.
Oh,
so,
man.
We're very excited to see the outcome of that. Anyway, the track mod qualifying results. Let's have a look at things. Again, there's still one more qualifying session to go, but I think the best laps of the day might have been run. It doesn't matter in the podium sprint how fast you go against your own time, it's how fast you go against everybody else.
Exactly.
So everything kind of gets reset there. But here, I don't know we're going to see a faster lap time than a 129.6 in track mod. So I think Gabe Zamora's pretty sorted. But that cut line, though, it's so tight, a 10th here, a 10th there. If somebody has a magic lap, who knows?
It could just be a setup change, too. You just we just found something here. And you can find that. I mean, look how close that is. It's not that far. Really, Hodge, Muhammad, all potentially have the opportunity. Right now, I think Zamora, Wong, and Ding are pretty much locked in.
All right, track mod is over and unlimited. Here we go. This car is your current record holder at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Yesterday, ran a 121.177. That's Ben Sloss behind the wheel in a Mark IV Ford GT. This car is $1.7 million, one of 67 in the world, and it is going fast. This is not a showroom beauty, although it probably deserves to be. It is on track competing. Sasha Anise in that hybrid 350Z right in trail, and a whole host of others are taking to the racetrack now. Here is your unlimited running order. And just a quick, whoops, wrong graphic there. My apologies here. It can't be perfect all the time, can I? But the other...
There's that humility I love so much.
The other... I love you, Greg. The other car that's out on track that you will not see on this running order is James Kirkham, because he is in that Mercedes-AMG GT3 that we saw yesterday.
Yep.
Here he is, all by his lonesome, 129.8. He's the only Super Unlimited car here this weekend, and fans at home might say, hey, well, what is Super Unlimited versus Unlimited? Unlimited, the rules are basically there are no rules except the car has to start with a VIN number. The Mercedes-AMG GT3 does not have one of those, so it is classified as a Super Unlimited car, even though it probably would fit right in as far as lap times are concerned. Right. It is not technically a road car.
There you go, and that's the thing. Now, this thing, the people that, the investors or the whatever, just drive me nuts when you have a limited run of a car that's as magical as this GT, and they buy it and then let it sit and put it in a museum or a showcase or whatever. This thing was built to be driven. And I love the fact that Ben says, well, I'm not going to buy it and let it sit. If I'm going to invest that kind of money, I want to be able to wheel this thing around the track, because that's what it's designed to do. And he has been up to the task.
Let's listen to this car for a lap here. Ben Sloss in the Ford.
It's about 800 horse, right?
Just about. It's quiet.
It's just, there you hear it. When it gets up on the pipe, unlike a naturally aspirated V8 that is just shatteringly loud, this thing, Andy Pilgrim described it beautifully. He said, these things sound like they're shredding the air.
I think it's doing just that. And this car and Sasha's, here we go into turn 6. Sasha's car has my heart, though, doesn't it?
Oh, just that sound.
The Hybrid 350Z, the Mountain Pass Performance Kels car, they call it. Into the corkscrew. These cars are fighting for the unlimited win here this weekend. Sasha Anise was the previous record holder. Ben Sloss was going for it. He was expecting to be in the teens here if everything would work out right. Sticker, rubber, slick tires, cool track. Let's see what he's got in the Mark IV Ford GT. Up out of turn 11, climbing through the dual clutch 7-speed gearbox. Can Ben Sloss improve on the 121, 177? He doesn't this time. Can Sasha Anise improve? He does. 123, 648 for Anise.
Nice. And I'll tell you, Ben, what Ben's driving here is essentially that Ford GT, GTLM car, really, that's been unrestricted. I mean, it's literally that level of performance, and that's what makes it absolutely spectacular. And, these conditions are the ones where he really, if he's going to do it, it would be now to dip into the teens. I noticed that at the exit now of Andretti Hairpin, right on the line, if you do that late apex, there's a bunch of gravel and sand that's on the track, which means you may not be able to give it quite as much welly as soon as you'd like coming out of that turn, and that could be affecting things a little bit. But
59-foot drop. Ooh, a little crunch. Yeah. Wasn't a showroom beauty anymore under there.
That's somebody beating up on a $1.7 million car, folks. And I'd love to see it.
Where it belongs.
Yep. And you notice that cost him to be a little wide coming through Rainy. Just that little pound on the curb going through the corkscrew just moves the car, just walks it sideways a little bit, and you can't get it back on line.
And across the stripe, no pickup, 121, 177. And he went faster again.
No, a 122.5, Kyle. He's booking.
He is, and he's closing in on Sloss.
He is.
This could be.
Hey, see what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, there's a big mess down there. Huh?
You got to really thread it right through there.
Yeah, what's fascinating about this is, these lap times are great. These are what's going to go in the record books later today, but the podium sprint is going to shake this up because Sloss can do this all he wants, but you get to the podium sprint, you have to perform there. It's going to give Sasha an opportunity. He's still 1.4 seconds back, but given an opportunity later, he could go quicker. Mike Dussault into the top 5 at 129, 325.
Finally, been waiting to see that beautiful, he said 67 Camaro. What just an engineering marvel Dussault has done with that. And I hope we get a shot of the 407 out there, that Datsun 510, just to see it, folks. You're not going to believe it when you see that 407 510. It is something to behold.
Let's see if we can find Marcus Fry, number 407 in the Datsun. There's Dussault, by the way. That car caught on fire yesterday.
Yeah.
And there's the Mustang.
There's Dussault.
The Camaro. And heading up towards turn 6. Look at the sights of WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca.
And Navarra in that Mustang that's right in front of Dussault. He's sitting in 4th right now. And he's a newbie to us, I think. And that thing is a beast.
Yeah, he is a newbie, but it's just not showing.
Oh. Listen to those two. You can see it. Or here, Navarra. the rev suddenly came up too much, and you can see the car slid just a little bit. He is wheeling this thing.
Oh, man. There's something about a V8.
Yep.
Ooh, you see that squirm on the braking. It was struggling to get slowed down, but kick out the rear onto the curbing. Can Navarra jump up ahead of Radishel potentially, who's in that MX-5 we saw the other day? And Navarra, not this time. And Dussault, another improvement.
Yep, he's closing it up too. I just, that Navarra's car, I mean, if you ever had the opportunity to watch the original Trans Am series, folks, that's so reminiscent of that. Look at the arrow that is on Dussault's older Camaro. And you said, I didn't get to Road America. You said he was, what, over 200?
On the front straightaway.
Which is incredible.
I mean, this car has got some bite to it, and it has been a very impressive machine to watch. He was excited. He'd never been here before. I talked to him on Thursday night. This is his first time WeatherTech race with Laguna Seca. It's a bucket list track for him. Wanted to spend, slip, slide, and off in turn 6.
No.
And into the tire wall. Mike Dussault. And it just went a little wrong, and it gets out of hand quick over there, Greg.
I think something may have broken. Just the way, because there's that little slide. Yes, he corrected, but then it looked like that left front corner maybe just laid down.
Oh, man.
That's a pretty big if. Off, I mean.
Yeah.
Well, if, I guess, too.
Well, that is unfortunate. And, I know how excited he was to be here.
Yeah.
And this is not going to be a very exciting way to end the weekend if the damage is significant. It looks, again, this car with the tube frame chassis, sometimes it can look worse than it is, right? So, but just hope that Mike will be all right. The tire bundles here are very soft. It's a good kind of barrier to have over in that section of the racetrack, but just got it a little wrong. And I think you're right. Something could have gone on that car.
Just the way that it looked. It came up, it hit that compression, the car snapped a little bit, just got sideways, and he corrected, but it wasn't a monster amount of correct. And usually what happens is you come up from that compression and the back end pops, and you get, so the back end would then start to come around, and it just suddenly dropped and went straight off. Now, it got rid of a lot of speed before it hit, but obviously enough that it certainly wrinkled that right front corner.
Yeah, unfortunate for Mike Dussault. We're going to update you on that when we get back from break here. But before we do that, let's have a quick look here at unlimited results of Track Battle Qualifying 2. Ben Sloss didn't pick up on his time. Sasha Anise, though, edged a little closer, 122.522. Ryan Radishel, Brian Navarra, and then, of course, Mike Dussault. And if Dussault can get that car back together, it's going to be tough, but he's got a handful of hours to do so. He could make it up into podium sprint and compete for a podium here this weekend, or at least snag a trophy.
Yeah.
But that is the unlimited results as it stands.
And I'll tell you, the guy that impressed me in that one was Anise, because yesterday he went a 23.8. He got it down to a 22.5. That's a 1.3 second find. And, now he's right there. And I think your point is really, really good. 2 laps, pressure is on in podium sprint. You make a mistake in the first lap, and then you feel, I've got to really push in the second lap, and you don't get that one quite right. And the guy who drives 2 really good laps, he can steal it. So, Sloss, he's clearly the quickest out there. That doesn't mean he's going to win podium sprint. That's one of the other great things about this new format here.
Great stuff. We're going to step away for a few minutes. We'll be back with the next event on the weekend. We're really excited because it means race time. GRIDLIFE Touring Cup Race 2 is next on this gorgeous Saturday here in Salinas, California. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, I'm Chris Forsberg, and I want to tell you about Valvoline's Flex-Fill Gear Oil, which is designed by car people for car people. It comes in a pouch, which is specifically made to work in tight spaces, and it saves me time versus the old pumping method, so I can focus on things like keeping my drivetrain running clean. Unlike the pump, the Flex-Fill pouch leaves no wasted oil and no wasted time. Plus, it keeps my garage nice and clean from any spills. All you gotta do is put the nozzle where you need some oil, give it a squeeze, and you're ready for the road. That's why I protect everything in my garage with Valvoline. Valvoline, trusted for over 150 years.
Welcome to our world. A world of dirt, drift, and dodging fate. A world where all of motorsport collides. A world of digging deep, of grit, glory, and bitter defeat. Inhabited by the strong, the fearless, the barely sane. Welcome to our world. Welcome to the world of NOS.
High performance, year-round traction, long tread life. It's one tire with multiple personalities. Introducing the Azenas FK460, Falcon's all-new ultra-high-performance all-season tire. With an advanced rubber compound that delivers confidence through every curve, in any condition, all year long, making the seemingly impossible possible. Learn more about the Azenas FK460 at falcontire.com.
GRIDLIFE returns to WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca for the second time for the GRIDLIFE Laguna Festival, the season-end finale for the festival tour. Welcome back to Salinas, California, and 2024 Round 5. We're here at famous Laguna Seca, one of America's most historic racetracks, and 11 turns, 2.2 miles around here, opened in 1957. We've already set records here this weekend. We are so excited to be back and racing in just a moment's time with GRIDLIFE Touring Cup race number 2. Kyle Heyer joined by Greg Creamer. Greg, GLTC has already put on an amazing race, but we are just getting started.
Yeah, it was the first of 4, and this race coming up based on the fastest laps turned in that first race. So some of the drivers that maybe had a little issue in that race, you lay back, get a quick lap in, and it's going to give you a much better starting spot here. It's going to be tough to beat what we saw, particularly the last couple of laps of that race yesterday afternoon. But as you said, we're just getting started. These conditions are really beautiful right now. It's go fast time, and these guys can do it.
It is. And of course, this GRIDLIFE live stream is brought to you by Falcon Tires, the official tire of GRIDLIFE Track Battle, and NOS Energy, the official energy drink sponsor of GRIDLIFE and the title partner of NOS Energy Track Battle Time Attack. We're here at a racetrack that is everyone's bucket list. If you grew up playing racing games, this track has been in it, and it's 2.238 miles, Greg. I watched a video recently that showed 58 video games with this racetrack. Why?
I wouldn't doubt it, because it is spectacular. And you can see the Andretti hairpin after a tricky blind approach into turn 1, then turn 3, 4. That's the section that was added in the 80s. Because it used to go from 2 right to 5 here. 5, the most important turn on the track, because it starts a big elevation climb, and you've got to get momentum, roll speed up through there. But I mentioned momentum. Here's the momentum kill. Turn 6, angular, weird, bizarre, big compression at the apex. If you get it wrong, either way, you're slow, and then you can be a sitting duck up here coming into the corkscrew at the end of the rail straight, because it's a great overtaking area, and then you fall.
11 stories all the way down to the bottom of Rainy Curve. Into turn 10, you're carrying so much speed running down the mountain, and then into turn 11, hard on the brakes, down to second gear in a GLTC car, accelerating up towards the start-finish line. Yesterday, it came down to who left that corner best at the end of the race. It was an epic brawl between Matan Rosenberg and Justin Ross. Rosenberg is here with one agenda. Ross is here on another. Rosenberg's just a handful of points behind Luke McGrew in the championship. Luke is not here, so Matan is just trying to fill his bucket, and Justin Ross is trying to steal a little extra candy.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. And Justin is a very accomplished, not only driver, but car builder, team owner, technician, strategist. The guy does it all. He's really run some successful programs at the Thunderhill 25 Hours. So, he is great to have in this championship at that caliber. And, you're running that good as a one-off guy up against a Matan Rosenberg. That says an awful lot about your skill set.
It really does, and I think we're gearing up for a second race, which is going to give us sort of a different look, because this race is gridded by fastest lap from race 1. So that's not quite like qualifying. You're qualifying in a race scenario, so it's going to shift the order a little. But race 3 and 4 is really when we start to mix things up, because this race is going to set the next race by finishing position, and the same is true for race 4 with that random invert we do here in GLTC. And if that wasn't enough crazy for you, 35 cars here, many of which have never run with us before, or once or twice, maybe. So it's a lot of new faces, drivers that are racing together for the first time, but they put on a great show yesterday.
Oh, they put on an incredible show. And I mean, Justin Ross, obviously, one of the stars here. Larry Moore actually won one of the 4 races here last year. He had a little problem early in the race and had to fight back. But you got other guys here like John Bowe in the Lotus, the number 75, doing really well. Daniel Giraldo in the number 440. And, of course, the San Diego Flash, Jack Wishmeyer, in the number 132. He had a good qualifying run yesterday. Made that one little error drop back, but on his way back up to try and get into the podium when he just missed it, ended up 4th. He set 3rd fastest lap time, so he actually starts inside of row 2. That's what having the understanding of, all right, I got a problem in this race, get a lap in, and you can really stem the flow and be able to have a good starting lineup. Look at that infield section.
It's great. And we also have a couple car concourse experiences here this weekend. Of course, we've had the Hyundai N Club out here, as well as Subi Mods. They've got a showcase going on down there as well. That lake bed should fill all the way up by the end of the day. We've got Madion and San Holo playing tonight on the main stage, which you can see just next to that white building there in the center of the screen. The paddock is already filling up with more spectators. And we're sending around some equipment because we might have some tire bundles to push and shove.
I think up in turn 6.
Yeah, that's
sold one up.
A little ways away.
But yeah, he may have just finished it. So
okay, well, I'm hoping that he's finishing it versus.
Me too.
Well,
Me too.
And here's a look at Mike Dussault's car. We saw this car go off just at the tail end of qualifying too. You see Mike there talking to Adam. He's out of the car and okay, which is great, but unfortunate end to his qualifying session. So we're going to be a slight delay again here for this time a track cleanup. We were in about an hour and a half delay for some fog and mist in the area this morning that made visibility hard, but with our second race on the horizon here, this is just going to compress the day a little bit on the tail half.
Yeah, that's part of it. Racing, obviously it has its moments, and I'm just trying to look here. Right there at the exit of 6. Sometimes when something breaks, you'll see a big scrape mark. I don't see that, so just kind of curious here. But look at this. I mean, it isn't like it was damaged so bad it needed a wrecker.
Yeah,
that's a good sign.
Yeah, it is rolling, and that's what I think. What I was saying earlier is this tube frame car. We've seen it. I think last year at Road America he had an incident as well, and this car's pretty strong. And when you're on the limit of grip and you're building a car that's this experimental in a way, you're going to have things like this happen. And just great planning by WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca to have tire bundles there. Again, they've got how many years of experience with where cars can end up here. But this is a racetrack. It's old-fashioned. They will bite sometimes, Greg, and that's part of the challenge.
Well, and especially one of these angular corners like that even turn 11 here, we've talked about that, has a flow to it. You know what I mean? You come out of 10, you swing out. It's a classic 110-degree tight corner, but it's got a rhythm to it. Turn 6 has nothing in terms of a rhythm to it. It's just it just suddenly cuts to the side. And then you throw in that compression, and I think it's a vastly overlooked corner because if you approach it timidly, you still have to go all the way up that Rahal straight into the corkscrew, and you're going to be slow. And if you overshoot, you see what happens there because it's you're carrying so much speed, you can go straight off.
Well, the cars are still waiting on false grid. As we are waiting for GLTC Race 2, it's going to be a few minutes time here before we get going. And, because we got a couple minutes, let's take a look back at what last year, our first time here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Let's have a look at what that looked like last season.
When I say hold up, got my glizzy bang bang.
In the pits of GRIDLIFE Laguna right now, and I've been able to catch up with someone who's really moving out there. So who am I here with?
Nikki Hayes.
How you doing, man? So can you tell me a little bit about this? Is this a CRX, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a super simple. Honestly, it started as a passion project. It's just an all-motor B-Series car, 250 horsepower, as light as we can make it. And we were just stoked to come out to Laguna where, you know, there's typically sound limits. So we had to come and let it eat an open sound, make some noise. And yeah, super fun first time out here.
You're still being a little bit humble in the way that you're out there in Group A. So this is like a 1,700 pound, 200 horsepower CRX.
Yeah.
And you're out there with a 4GT Mark IV, Dussault in his Camaro, which makes a gajillion horsepower.
Yeah.
That's insane. How does it feel to be out there with these insanely fast cars and then you're just ripping around carrying the same corner speed almost?
Yeah. So the last thing I drove here was a 992 Porsche Cup. A lot heavier than this, a lot more power, but man, the weight of this car, and we just put aero on it, I still have so much to go. I think I'm going to try and hit a 129. So, no, I'm freaking loving it, and it's cool. I think we're 7th overall with some serious cars. And this was, like I said, we just entered unlimited because we didn't want to change the car to fit a class. So I'm happy, having fun. So
right on. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah,
appreciate it, dude. Right out front of the Race Treads booth. Who am I here with? Who am I joined with?
Hey guys, I am Ashley.
What are you doing for Race Treads this weekend?
So we are changing tires, mounting, balancing, all of it.
Oh, right on. So is that like just drift cars or like
Nope.
time attack guys too?
All of them. Anybody.
Oh, cool.
Anybody come on down, we'll change, mount, balance, all of it.
Do you do like the Rush SR cars too?
Yep,
Oh,
yep,
right
absolutely.
on. Right on. Thank you so much, Ashley. Wow, you need your tires mounted. Oh my goodness, come to Race Treads now! We are over here at the GRIDLIFE merch booth that's down here in the festival grounds area. For Laguna, we have some awesome, super exclusive merch that's going really fast. Like, I already got my new shirt. Creature behind the camera, he's got his new shirt. You can't see him, but he looks amazing. So you guys need to come down here, get your new stuff. We got umbrellas. We're doing deals on umbrellas right now. It's cold. It can get rainy around here. You need to be prepared. And tomorrow, near DJ Corkscrew, we'll have an additional merch booth. So if you miss out today, you can make up for it tomorrow. All right, I'll see y'all later. Merch out. We are live and alive at the Toyo Tires booth. As per usual, they've got some pretty deep stuff out here. We've got Wild RX-7, a crazy E46 M3, an Integra over there. Oh, we got some folks waving at us. Say hi. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. It's all great out here at the Toyo Tires booth. We're all having fun. And then also tucked over in the corner is a pretty crazy Datsun with an insane V8 swap and some absurd aero. There's so many things to come here and check out at GRIDLIFE Laguna. You need to be here. I don't know why you're not. Why are you still back there? Not right. Yeah. I don't like that you brought me over here. You don't like my wallet? You want me to spend all my money at the Lean Customs wall, dude? Because they got new ones. They got new exclusives this weekend. Perfectly for GRIDLIFE Laguna. We got a new Mercedes 190E. We got a crazy lifted FCP Euro Cayman. And also a blueprint of an M4. It's so good. I actually did already get the pins. I already bought them all.
Laguna Seca is a gift from the Drift Lords. and we are grateful to have the opportunity to scum up a track like this. You know, I don't know if you see that thing. It's no GT3 RS, but it'll do some stuff. You know, it'll do some stuff. So shout out GRIDLIFE, shout out Laguna. Let's do this every year. I try not to f up too bad this year. Excuse my French, but you know, I get really excited when I'm put in situations that I don't belong in.
I've never seen you drop a tire. I've never seen you drop a tire. All right, so I know a lot of you might not recognize this person next to me, and that's because there's a bright pink Porsche behind us. Cal, where's the Mercedes?
It's leaking transmission, so it's at a shop in Illinois right now.
That's never good. You don't want that, right?
No, not at all. So I'm borrowing this car this weekend. This is a Jerry Lou's GT4 RS. It's a bright ruby star, as you can see.
Very bright.
Yeah. We're P3 right now, though. So I'm learning the car, and I just did a 137.2 out there, and it feels pretty fun.
Oh, right on. So in comparison to your Mercedes, where the Mercedes, you know, real long, it's big motor up front, how does it feel in comparison to mid-engine?
I think with this one, like, it's weird for me because I'm going from like a higher powered car with not as much mechanical grip because it's heavier, it's got some downforce to it. This car, it's lower powered, but it's got all the mechanical grip. And like I was finding myself out there learning it and getting on power a lot earlier than I was expecting to be able to.
Yeah.
Like you just kind of stop on the gas and it's like, oh, there's this grip there. And it just felt weird to me.
Yeah, certainly the cornering speeds are probably very similar, if not maybe faster in this car.
Yeah, I would say it might be faster. It feels faster.
Oh,
like,
we won't say anything. You know, it's okay. Your car's still fast.
Yeah, no,
your car's still fast.
I like the Mercedes more, but this car's still beautiful.
Appreciate you, brother. See you out there, dude. You know when folks are talking about MF Doom and they say that he's your rapper's favorite rapper? This is your favorite racetrack's favorite corner, all right? Rainy Curve is really where the HPD drivers are separated from the time attack drivers. This is the corner where you make or break your lap. This is where you go, oh wow, this is downhill. The corkscrew's just a little drop, a sudden drop. This is a gradual roller coaster that just pulls you on down.
Well, all sorts of action around the paddock and around the festival site. GRIDLIFE Laguna and GRIDLIFE Touring Cup are about to fill the air with the sounds of motors, V4 or V8, i4, inline 6, you name it, we've got it in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup, single class sprint racing. Greg Kramer, we're about ready to go racing here for GLTC Race 2.
We are, and the battle is front row put on yesterday. Matan Rosenberg in the vet, Justin Ross in the BMW was spectacular, but we got some players coming up right behind them, and I can't wait for this. 15 or so minutes, we're about to go racing.
Here we go, GRIDLIFE Touring Cup Race 2 from WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca all the way. The sun, the sea, and Salinas. We're racing in California. Green flag, we're underway in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup.
And again, look at Wishmeyer diving down to the inside, sensing maybe an opportunity to get underneath Ross. He's got company behind him. Is he going to be able to pull it off? He does not, but he's going to hang on at least to that third spot, I think. Marchev solidified. Well, he's got pressure now from Zhang, doesn't he?
A little bit of a bottle up in the background there. A couple cars, I think, might have had a little boop. Wow, look at Vo in the Lotus to the outside, up to 5th place in that tiny little car, trying to do big things here in California today. Rosenberg takes the lead, but Ross has a nice run here out of turn 4.
Yeah, he does. And one of the things I would suspect, Ross doesn't want, if he can, he wants to get to the front early because Matan's car is going to get those tires up to temp a little bit quicker just because it's heavier. And that's going to allow him, as he did yesterday, he opened up a little bit of a margin early, and then Ross came steaming back.
I saw Ross clobber that inside anti-cut curb, jack the whole front of the car up off the ground, but he is pushing right now. First time through turn 6, everyone's got to be cautious here, and then into the corkscrew. Look at Wishmeyer in that Civic, and there's Zhang on Vo down the hill.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, that car of Zhang's is not a big car, but compared to that Lotus, it looks like a taxi. Oof. And, boy, I'll tell you, these two are off at it again, off in another world right now. It looks like it's going to be interesting to see if Wishmeyer is going to be able to hang on in front here of Marchev now. But look at this, Ross in full attack mode early.
Yeah, he does not want to repeat the mistakes from yesterday there at turn 11. He went to the outside, but realized all the speedy dry was still out there, so the grip wasn't there. Larry Moore has a look at Peter Zhang in the background. Geraldo following in that Lexus IS. Here's Tony Marchev, there's Vo, there's Zhang, and there is the 272 of Moore, who was not able to complete his pass on Peter Zhang, but it is still bottled up tight down here in turn 2.
Really, really snug. He is just, and you can see that that BMW a little bit lighter. It can roll that little bit more speed. Then as soon as they get into a spot where that little bit extra torque of that V8 is going to make a difference in that vet, you can see Matan just eases away a little bit. I keep an eye here too on Moore. He had that problem early, but he was really quick in qualifying. Let's see what he can do. And Vo right now, really impressive in that Lotus.
And he's now closing in at Marchev. Little wiggle on the brakes into 5. It's not a crazy long braking zone there, but it's important that you get it done quickly because you don't want to leave yourself vulnerable on that important sequence because you're really on throttle with a very a light exception here at 6. You're on throttle for a long time after that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's all uphill. So exit speed out of 5 and maintaining that speed all the way up here into the corkscrew is absolutely crucial. And you can see there Moore attacking on Zhang into the corkscrew, letting him know I'm coming after you, bud.
Big tank slapper there. For it might have been Audi in the 162. And Larry Moore is really encroaching on Peter Zhang's personal space here, isn't he? Into turn 10, a car length back between these two. LS engine under the hood of that FRS. And that BMW's in chase. And here comes Ross for the lead. Rosenberg and Ross, these two are going to make this a fun weekend, aren't they?
Yeah, and Marchev just ran wide, exiting turn 10, dropped his lefts, and that got him out of position and rhythm into 11, and he's going to get past here. And look at this. Ross, fast lap of the race, Kyle, goes to the outside in Andretti.
Really late on the binders here. Tony Marchev and Zhang battling. It looks like Vo's through on both of them. He's to 4th, and a slide from Ross out to the curbing at turn 2.
Yep, that little bit of a slide. That'll just null that momentum we talked about. But he keeps Matan, well, I was going to say he keeps Matan from getting to the apex, but Matan, look at this! And look at Moore trying to take advantage of that.
Oh, trouble. The 17 gets tagged, gets turned around into the gravel at turn 4. So Marchev goes for a slide lock up there from Vo. And I think there was 2 cars trying to occupy the same space there. And Marchev got knocked sideways.
Yeah, and Giraldo and Audi having a real scrap behind them, too. So action everywhere. There goes Zhang. Here's Moore. And then look at this busy little mess.
That is Alex Audi and Giraldo, and the big run from Adam Wood because they got crossed up with each other. Wood's going to look left, look right, try the run up to the corkscrew.
Can't wait to see them pop into view who's doing what. They all got line astern. Kind of have to at a certain point here.
Yeah, Nick Steniford there as well. Not too far behind in 12th place with that green banner.
Oh, we know he's well rested.
Yeah, we saw him up on the hillside earlier hanging out. And Audi closing in on Giraldo. Now we'll see. I don't know if Marchev was able to get unstuck. That's gravel trap over there, so that could be tricky to get out. And in that case, we could see a full course yellow, but we're still green for now. There's, unfortunately, Oscar Jackson on pit lane. He was struggling with overheating issues yesterday, and it appears that they have not been resolved this morning.
Tell you, Giraldo just really did something smart exiting turn 11 because he had Audi coming up and really pushing on him. And he sensed that Audi was thinking about the over-under, and he exited dead center of the track and absolutely stopped any opportunity to make that move here. Looking back a little bit here. That is...
trouble. The Lotus is off. No. Just the Elise that time is off in the gravel for a moment, and some more battling side by side in the background. They're entering now turn 3. Now remember that there is a yellow at turn 4 because Marchev has not been able to get unstuck from the gravel there. And I don't imagine that they're going to leave him there much longer. So they gave him an opportunity to try to get moving, but that car went in backwards and dug in.
Yeah, and one of the things, too, if it just stalled, obviously, it can just be tough to restart as well. Everything gets heat-soaked a little bit here because even though the temperature is pleasant outside in those engines, it's plenty hot, obviously. And really impressed what Wishmeyer is doing here. He's dropped off a little bit to these two, but once again, they're just kind of off. It's a mano-a-mano duel at a slightly different level. But Wishmeyer has opened up a second lead on
look at this! Look at the move from Ross to the inside! Where did he come from? Down the inside of Rosenberg, but the caution is out, and it will deny him a pass for the lead again.
Oh, man, and he had it. He had position there. and I'm sure he is going, oh, that was a golden opportunity here. And then the caution comes out and puts it to a stop. But I'll tell you, Ross, I think he's our revelation here this weekend so far. What a race driver he is.
I mean, he has just been spectacular, and got to give Rosenberg the credit where credit is due as well for the battles that they have had so far. And I hope that we can get this recovery done very quickly so we can resume racing, at least get a few more laps in. And this is a great opportunity for Wishmeyer and Vo, because they were showing great pace. They just lost a little track position in that scrum there that got the 17 turned around. And I think they'd like another chance to show off what they've got.
Yeah, and I think Vo might be appreciating this because that lockup was pretty solid, and he may have a flat spot. It's not just that the tire hunts for that flat spot every time you go to the brakes. It also it can set a vibration up through the steering wheel. Now, those cars aren't particularly heavy, so it might not be too bad. But even so, it lets him just kind of, all right, you know, I can adjust this, and if we do go back to green, it'll be a shorter period with that flat spot. I can just attack. That should be fun.
It should be fun. So the rescue guys will go out there and get Tony Marchev on the hook and try to get him pulled back. And I think there's actually an exit at turn 5 they can take to get back to the paddock. So it should be a pretty quick hookup, but we're running again on pretty borrowed time here with the delays we've had today.
Yeah.
We'll stack up there going into 5.
And I would again here on this restart, Kyle, I'd really keep an eye on the 272 or more. Because I think he senses, all right, you know, after what happened, I had a really good qualifying run, had the problem early in race 1, and was still able to get a decent lap in, and now I've got opportunity. And remember, we grid race 3 based on where you finish in race 2. So everybody knows that, of course, but, you know, Moore won here one of the races last year. He understands how the game is played, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be pretty serious right from the restart.
So the safety team is there. They're going to get him on the hook here and try to get him pulled out. I think he'll be able to drive away just fine. Just a tap. I didn't see a lot of damage on the right rear of that car. It was just, you know, if you've ever driven this track in a simulator, the thing that strikes me is how flat turns 3 and 4 are. There's not really a lot of camber there. So if you turn in, and look how quickly that was done, very nicely done, as Tony Marchev is now out. I just don't want to run over the strap. But the corners are so flat. So when you go in there side by side, there's no banking holding you there. And it's very, very easy to miscalculate that. So, yeah, you know, we didn't get a great look at it, but, you know, I don't think that there was any malice intended there. Just,
not at all.
Just a tricky spot to have overlap.
Yeah, and, you know, again, some of these guys, keep in mind, you know, they don't necessarily race with us all the time, so that overlap concept in other series isn't appreciated and employed sometimes. And so it's just an adjustment. And, yeah, there was no animus there at all. I think it was just a matter of, like you said, just a little bit of a misjudgment. And, you know, the problem is when you have that 3 and 4 that are so flat, when your normal arc through the corner is such, and then you start that arc a car width wider, obviously, suddenly you can find, if you don't make that little adjustment mentally, you can run right off the outside of the track. And sometimes you can drop that outside tire and then you come back across and you can collect people. So it's just learning a new sort of a format of racing. You know, in grid life, door-to-door racing is non-contact. And what it means is that people at the end of the weekend have a car that looks just like it did when it started, and they're not spending a lot of time banging out or repairing body panels.
That's the hope.
Yeah.
And so behind the control of a very nice Evo pace car, it's part of our pace car program here in Grid Life. If you've followed our Instagram, you'll know that you can submit your car to be a pace car at a Grid Life Festival event. And if it's so chosen, you get to ride shotgun in your own car. Well, we take you around the racetrack and give you a very unique perspective. And Greg, I don't see the 17 car on track anymore, which is good. I mean, bad news, but it's good because he's no longer in the gravel pit.
Exactly. He was, and you were right. I mean, I think he was probably just stuck. And just being able to pull him out, he could just put it in gear, drive off. And so I would think we're going to be able to go back to green this time.
Yeah, the question would be, how long do we have? And if I take a quick glance at my schedule here, right after this, we've got some rush qualifying. That isn't for another 7 minutes. So we might get 2 laps because we have to include the cool down in that as well. So we will see what we get. I'm hoping for a green and no white, and maybe we'll get the white flag next time by.
Yeah, that would be.
Oh, Tony's even running.
Oh, he's at the back. Nice.
Heck
Good.
yeah, Tony.
Well done.
Get right back up on the horse. That's awesome.
Yeah, right now, one of the fastest guys out there is Peter Zhang in 5th. The top 2 are running mid to high 139s. Peter Zhang ran a 139.7, so he's got some speed. So for Moore, it could be a little tough to be able to get through, but Moore looked like he was getting faster relative to the cars in front of him. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm really impressed that Tony just got right back up in the field. I mean, it's very easy to just say, all right, this one's gone, but he's going to fight. He knows that a couple positions are going to be worth a lot later today, and just a flesh wound, you know?
Exactly.
Man, Laguna Seca puts on some great racing with GLTC, doesn't it? It feels so great to watch racing with a field that is mostly new drivers, and they seem to get it, at least up here at the front with Justin Ross and Wishmeyer and Vo. Pace cars off, and we're going back green in a moment.
We are, and I'm so looking forward to this. Probably a 2-lap sprint, and this could favor, again, Matan, because if everybody got down, tire pressures are down, tires are cold, Matan's heavier Corvette can get that gathered up again, Kyle.
Here we go. Green flag, and there is a white as well. This will be our final lap of the race. It's a 1-lap shootout at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. And Rosenberg got a great launch. Here comes Vo down the inside of Wishmeyer. He wants 1, maybe 2.
And Zhang's going to try and go with him as well. It's going to get really busy at the apex. Wishmeyer gets sort of forced out. Vo is through. Wishmeyer hangs on to 4th, though. And looking at Moore, he was not able to get through on Zhang.
Giraldo is in the dirt leaving turn 2, but he keeps the car straight. Ross in the dirt. He is pushing hard. He was denied yesterday by 1/10 of a second after sliding through the gravel at 11. He does not want to lose this again.
And Vo, man, that Lotus is going to be able to really flow some speed. He's going to be at a little deficit climbing the hill here. This is where Wishmeyer, Zhang, Moore might have an opportunity on Vo, but wow, did he get out of that turn beautifully. So he got a little bit of breathing room. Here's that tricky 6.
Last time through turn 6 here in race 2. Matan has gotten a nice restart since the first few corners. Everyone else single filed, a little bit of drama deeper in the field here. Fiona Liu trying to make up some ground. Matan's car has looked a little sketchy on the brakes into the corkscrew. That's where he's given up some time.
And just a little darty, hasn't it been?
It has. But yesterday it came down to the last 2 corners. It may again. Wishmeyer, whoa, Zhang is wide. Here we go. Last few corners.
Look at Moore!
Oh, this is a big run for the 272 into turn 11 on Zhang. He has a look, and here comes Ross again to the outside. And just like yesterday in the gravel, kicks it up like it's a rally car. Checkered flag. Rosenberg takes it again, and Ross has just tried every trick up his sleeve.
Yep, that was pretty much exactly what he did yesterday. And why not? It's the last corner. He's not running for a championship. He's not worried about points. He wants a win. And he just threw it in there and said, come what may, I'm not going to lose this for a lack of effort.
I mean, this is just so great.
Amazing.
Justin Ross. I mean, we don't give trophies necessarily for the A for effort thing, but I would.
Yeah. I mean, he's been spectacular.
Twice in a row, going to the outside, into the speedy dry. He knew it would stink out there.
Yep. And keep in mind here, Vo in that Lotus qualified 8th in the qualifying session, right? And they got a 6 yesterday. He fought his way up to the podium. And remember, later today, the next race is based on where you finish here. So he's just marching his way up here. Pretty impressive what we're seeing from that Lotus.
Matan Rosenberg, Justin Ross, John Vo, your podium finishers here in race 2. They will start there in race number 3. Wishmeyer, Zhang, Moore, Giraldo, Audi, Wood, and Steniford grab a top 10 in this one. Great job there by Nicholas to climb up into the top 10. Vitas Aronowskis, Rosales, Borchelt, Dominici, and Rushmanov in the top 15. The mid-pack had some good battles as well, but the top 10 have been stealing the show so far.
Yeah, it's been really impressive what we're seeing from those guys. And, again, we never really got to see what Ross could do on a longer run because from the start of that race, Matan went out early, set that fast lap at a 39.5, and Ross's best lap was a 39.8. That said, clearly right before that caution came out, Ross was quicker.
Yeah, Tony Marchev gained a couple of spots there at the end. P30, Oscar Jackson 31st. Didn't get the run he was hoping for. That was fun. We had a little bit of a delay because of that caution flag, but let's have a look. There's the spin from Marchev, and just went around into the gravel, brought out a full course yellow. Here's that 47. He thought he had the lead here. This was the move that would have won him the race, but the caution came out at the wrong time.
Exactly, and then on the restart, and you can see Matan moving way to the inside and going pretty slow, looking just to out-torque Ross, and right here, Ross is going to come up. Watch, we see it. Well, here's that last turn, and again, he gave it his all.
He gave it everything he had, kicked the tailpipes out. And what a drive by Justin Ross and Matan Rosenberg. All Matan needs is one more race win this weekend to take over the points lead in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup. We got more coming your way later today, but it's time to take a break until the afternoon sessions here. We'll see you on the other side with more GLTC, Rush SR, NOS Energy Track Battle Championship, and Drift. We'll see you later on a great Saturday from Salinas, California.
That's all.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has won the Daytona 500. You spend thousands of hours on the road.
Can he do it again?
Feel hundreds of horses under the hood. But every race, lap, and victory you get starts at zero. New NOS, zero sugar. Zero sugar, 100% NOS, get after it.
The Falcon Azenas RT660 is the enthusiast choice for ultra-high performance, engineered